Rambam Medical Center, Haifa. In the summer of 2006, conflict between Lebanon and Israel broke out, and overnight, this area turned into a battlefield. Weapons destroy lives, but rescue efforts save them. This three-story underground parking garage can be transformed into a makeshift hospital with 2,000 beds in just 72 hours. In this haven from inhumanity, doctors spare no efforts to offer care and help to those who need it. War destroys many things, but medicine is always there to help. Medicine began its evolution thousands of years ago out of a distinctive desire of human beings to help others. Cutting and reconstruction are the main treatment methods in surgery, which is the earliest field developed in medicine. Over the past 200 years, empirical science has guided surgery to gradually become safer, more accurate and standardized, serving as the primary treatment method in modern medicine. Pioneers in the field of surgery have moved forward with a courageous and pioneering spirit, developing a rigorous and precise system of surgery to make the world a better place. Surgery has made it possible for people to more fully enjoy the unique journey of life and have greater confidence in fighting diseases than at any time in history.
倘若再给我一次选择的机会，我还是会毫不犹豫地选择双肺移植手术。人类在追求爱、自由与幸福这些事上，从没有停下过脚步。
Every year, Wu Yue writes a long letter to a boy she calls the Little Shepherd. In 2013, Wu Yue suffered advanced pulmonary lymphangioliomyomatosis and respiratory failure. Then, 26, she underwent a double lung transplant in Wuxi People's Hospital affiliated to Nanjing Medical University. The donor was a boy she had never even met. Wu Yue is alive and well with a healthy pair of lungs. She often reminds herself to let the boy know how grateful she is for what she has now.
我希望能有更多的人能够理解这个器官捐献，就看到我这样的例子，就会觉得啊，生命的延续是一件很美好的事情，然后更多人愿意加入这个事情，愿意去做这件事情。
Transplant surgery is one of the greatest medical advances of the 20th century. Thanks to this marvel, Wu Yue's life has an unusual connection with that of a stranger, and she now has the chance to live on. Without it, she would have been doomed to die prematurely of disease. But not everyone will have the same luck as Wu Yue. There remain only a limited number of human organs available for transplants worldwide, and even if transplant surgery can take place, not all patients can be fully cured. Finding a solution to this problem has become the goal many medical experts are striving to achieve. Dr. Hu Shengshou is performing a heart aortic valve replacement operation. In order to ensure that our blood flows in the right direction, there's a one-way valve in the heart to prevent the blood from returning. It's called the aortic valve. Once damaged, the aortic valve cannot be repaired and it may cause shortness of breath. But in the worst case, it can cause sudden death due to insufficient blood supply to the heart. During the surgery, Hu Shengshou cuts off and removes the aortic valve lesions. He then sews 12 evenly spaced stitches in the aortic valve substitute and accurately puts it in place.
因为这个患者的年龄比较大嘛，所以我们给他用的这种是换了一个生物瓣。那么生物瓣呢，它的优点是说你换完了以后呢，它的这种血液相容性会好一些。 不用终身吃这种抗凝药。现在一般60岁以上的人，通常都选择做生物瓣。
Every year in China, about 150,000 people suffer heart valve damage and have to undergo valve replacement surgery. The substitutes that replace the valves are made through artificial synthesis and also come from biomaterials. This is a biological heart valve manufacturing base in a southern suburb of Shanghai. Every morning, thousands of pig hearts are brought here. After sterilization, they're laid out on the workbench. Workers then carefully remove excess tissue from the valves. This is just the very first step in a series of tedious procedures. Pigs and humans are both mammals, and their hearts are very similar in size, structure, and function. Moreover, pigs share 85% to 95% of active genes with humans. This means that the processed pig heart valves can be naturally compatible with the human body. Workers can only extract one key part of the biological valve from a pig heart, and this involves 30 different processes and strict selection based on dozens of technical indicators. While some patients with heart diseases are assisted through bioprosthetic valves, for some serious heart diseases, the patient's life can only be saved by replacing the entire heart. This is the Alt Lab for Organ Engineering and Regeneration at the Massachusetts General Hospital. Scientists here, led by the cardiac surgeon Dr. Harold Ott, are conducting an extraordinary experiment.
What we're trying to do in my lab is try to build organs for transplantation, and so because there's so many patients who suffer from end organ failure, we try to find solutions that can help these patients.
In an experiment conducted 10 years ago, Ott's team successfully regenerated a heart from a mouse and kept it beating. Now, they've been trying to regenerate the heart of a pig. If successful, they expect to be able to regenerate a human heart. All these amazing advances have benefited from the research and breakthroughs in the new scientific field of stem cell and tissue engineering. Cells are the basic units of the human body. All cells are derived from fertilized eggs, the most primitive cells, but they then go through a process of growth and differentiation and gradually form various types of cells with different functions and shapes. Short cylinder-shaped cardiomyocytes give the heart the ability to beat. Tiny tree-like nerve cells conduct nerve impulses, and globular leukocytes wandering in the blood absorb bacteria and prevent diseases. Immature cells that exist deep in the human body but have not undergone full differentiation are called stem cells.
因为人，通俗一点讲，就是我们人从胚胎，它就从这干细胞来的，对吧？然后呢，所以这个干细胞它是发育人的一个最原始的细胞。干细胞它的最大的优点，它可以在体外大规模的扩增而不丧失它的功能。第二个，它可以定向诱导分化。我们可以把这些干细胞，原始的干细胞可以分化成肝脏，分化成肾脏，分化成各种我们所需要的组织和器官。
Based on a stem cell's features, scientists can make biodegradable synthetic or natural materials into scaffolds with particular tissue or organ structures. On these, stem cells grow into functional, living, organ-specific tissues. This new technology that can regenerate tissues and organs is called tissue engineering. Ott's team and other scientists from laboratories around the world have made considerable progress in this field, and it means that in the future, patients who undergo organ transplant surgery won't have to wait for long periods of time for donors, and the problem of rejection can be avoided.
就是说，我们可以在体外培养没有排异反应的心脏，植入到病人的胸腔内，这样这个心脏可以无限制的生存下去。我觉得这个会是今后心脏移植或者其他器官移植的这个最终极的发展的方向，或最根本的改变。
In the next decade, breakthroughs in regenerative medicine and tissue engineering will break down the barriers that currently exist in transplant surgery. But while this is a gratifying accomplishment, medicine will continue to make even greater advances. On January the 23rd, 1896, in this auditorium in the University of Würzburg, a professor of physics named Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen demonstrated his X-ray photographs for the first time. This new type of ray was able to pass through solid objects. It immediately attracted worldwide attention. With the release of the photographs, news of the X-ray spread all over the world, and Röntgen was catapulted to fame. The X-ray was soon introduced into the field of medicine.
Ohne Röntgenstrahlen kann man sich eine moderne medizinische Diagnostik und Therapie überhaupt nicht mehr vorstellen. Die Röntgenstrahlen werden eigentlich in jedem Bereich der medizinischen Diagnostik heute eingesetzt. Röntgenstrahlen sind absolut notwendig, gerade im Operationssaal bei verschiedenen Operationsverfahren.
X 射线叫颠覆性、革命性的一个技术的进步，对医学来讲的话，是这么来定义的。因为有它的一个发现呢，其实让我们对这个疾病的认识，一下从那个原始社会进到一个现代社会。
The X-ray was discovered in 1895. In 1972, the world's first CAT or CAT scanner was invented. Then came the MRI. The development of medical imaging has enabled surgeons to understand the human body in a clearer and more accurate way. Today, with the combination of image processing techniques and imaging data, doctors can even create models of organs with amazing accuracy. This enables them to develop surgical plans for complex and high-risk cases before performing surgery. The University of Minnesota Medical Center is one of the world's most important experimental bases for basic cardiovascular research. It's also the birthplace of many medical miracles that have changed the world. Professor Kenneth Liao of the Department of Surgery is customizing a heart model for a boy with a complex heart disease.
Dr. Liao, come in, come in.
Good. How's the progress?
So we've been able to get the disc, the CT scan into our software, and we've been able to reconstruct the anatomy. So let me show you.
Can you show it to me, please?
Absolutely.
Mike, an expert in 3D printing technology, inputs the patient's medical imaging data into the computer. 3D reconstruction then shows a real digital model that simulates the patient's heart.
Oh, man, that looks great.
With the help of this digital model, doctors can gain a comprehensive and accurate understanding of the heart's tissue structure, its pathological lesions, vascular distribution, and other important information. Through 3D printing technology, the model can be completely replicated in the real world, accurately showing the heart's unique structure. It will provide Dr. Liao's team with an important basis to customize a surgical plan for this patient.
心脏是在胸腔的右边，而不是在左边。我们用3D 打印的技术指导，把它一个复杂的先心的一个病变能够在术前展示出来，尽量减少手术的风险，然后同时这个做到手术的精确性。
Good to see you. How's everything? Okay, good. Nothing changed. You excited about surgery?
Yeah, kind of.
Find the area that we're going to put the leads on, and I'm going to stay over.
The development of medical imaging has not only changed pre-operative diagnosis, but also completely transformed surgery. Today, in the virtual digital world made possible by computers, scientists are trying to make even greater progress. A car crashes into an obstacle at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. The crash test is one of the key steps taken before a car is put into production. But now, scientists can do the test without actually crashing a real car. As long as they input accurate data into a powerful computer, a virtual test can be accomplished. The research team of Steve Levine has made incredible innovations by applying this technology to neurosurgery and other medical fields. When the patient's brain imaging data is input into the computer, an amazing scene emerges. This virtual brain is not only able to reproduce a precise digital panorama of the patient's brain, but also simulates the physiological activities of the brain. Using this virtual brain, Levine can practice the precise surgical procedures for an upcoming operation, thus navigating around potential risks in advance.
But by creating these 3D animated models, we can actually simulate what's happening inside the brain, show the surgeon exactly what to do before he goes inside. So I can look inside my patient's brain, perform the surgery, and try to understand exactly where the electrical signal is going to focus. Biological human structures can be very complex, and by simplifying and giving this kind of 3D experience feedback, they can really understand what they're doing in the virtual world.
Advanced medical imaging greatly improves the accuracy and safety of surgery. In fact, surgical development has long sought to reduce or even eliminate the surgical trauma suffered by patients.
Die offene Chirurgie wird immer mehr nach hinten gedrängt, weil Dinge, wir nennen das disruptive Innovationen. Die Laparoskopie oder Pelviskopie von Kurt Sem und die Weiterentwicklung der roboterassistierten Chirurgie, sie verdrängt alles Dagewesene. Es ist wie mit dem Navigationssystem, das den Autoatlas verdrängt hat. Und das wird kein Mensch mehr hergehen und sagen, ich gucke aber lieber in den Autoatlas. Und in der Chirurgie kommt es ganz genauso. Das heißt, er gibt ihnen Auswahlmöglichkeit. Und das wird eine Revolution.
Engineers at this Medical Instrument Research Laboratory in the United States are developing a new type of intelligent surgical staple.
Clamshell recognized?
It did.
Did, good, okay.
This surgical tool can be used in minimally invasive surgery to carry out multiple tasks such as cutting, hemostasis, and suturing at the same time.
Many people might think of a stapler as something that you staple paper with, for example. Well, very similarly with an open stapler, that 60 individual little staples, and it allows a surgeon to, instead of doing what they used to with a suture, they actually apply the stapler to the tissue and then fire the stapler across, and it transects all of the anatomy in one single firing.
Today, with the general adoption of minimally invasive surgery, thoracoscopes and surgical staplers have become the standard instruments used in an operating room. Unlike ordinary surgical staplers, this new stapler can intelligently determine the thickness and size of a suture required. It can also provide real-time feedback on a display screen to assist doctors during surgery.
All using these buttons, right? So now the buttons allow the surgeon to interact with the device. Rather than having to squeeze and move their hands and move their body, they can do everything through this one motion of the overall device. So it gives them a lot more ability to be smooth. And even if a surgeon does a procedure open, the surgery may be the same amount of time as a laparoscopic surgery, but the patient will remain in the hospital for between 5 and 20 days longer than they would if they had a laparoscopic surgery. So the biggest benefit is not necessarily the idea of moving all the way from suture to a powered endostapler. The benefit is that moving from suture to a powered endostapler enables a patient to have minimally invasive surgery and give them a higher likelihood of going home faster because of that.
Medicine and surgery are constantly undergoing tremendous changes. With the help of genetic engineering, preventive medicine, and other medical means, completely eliminating surgical trauma is no longer just some far-off dream.
We already have some benefits of the technology that came out of personal genomics, such as the ability to diagnose genetic diseases in couples that are thinking about getting married or are already married. 5% of babies are born with very severe genetic diseases which are preventable by genetic counseling, and another set are preventable by surgery or by nutritional intervention or drugs.
And if we don't understand the origins of these diseases, we will never be able to prevent them. And the best disease is a disease that never occurs in the first place. And so it's vital that we think this way. This is a huge problem. This is a problem that's spreading around the planet. And if we don't figure out how to prevent these diseases, we're going to have to treat them. And I think it's much better to prevent a disease than to treat it.
Today, with the rapid development of science and technology, medicine is undergoing comprehensive and profound changes. Unprecedented forces are emerging in a bid to break through the limits of surgery and take medicine to a new level never before imagined. "36-year-old Brett Griswold lives in Los Angeles. He enters dietary information into his phone for every meal he eats. He doesn't share this information on social media, but uses the internet to acquire information about the meal's sugar content.
Meal here. I actually didn't log in my workout earlier.
You can go back in time and do it.
My name is Brett Griswold. So I am 36 years old, and I got diabetes when I was 9 years old. So the biggest challenge to living with diabetes is just keeping your blood sugars in a normal range, getting used to a life with needles and blood, and just monitoring everything, counting your carbohydrates, and basically doing the job of a pancreas with the use of needles and blood sugar monitors.
Through the help of artificial intelligence, Brett is no longer bound by the traditional blood sugar monitoring method. A 24-hour monitoring sensor just a few millimeters in length has been implanted in his body. It automatically measures Brett's blood sugar level every 5 minutes and then transmits the data to his mobile phone. By using massive databases and the analytical power of AI, Brett can better manage and control his blood sugar levels.
AI can help simplify it. AI can help recognize the food that patients are eating from the photos that they take. It can simplify and engage the users in getting more information. AI can also help collect more macronutrient information so that it's much complete picture. AI can help detect what activity patients are doing based on the sensors that are in the phone and the activity monitors and whatnot, so that the physician has a much better picture at the end of the day, which can really augment the physicians to drive better decisions, augment the patients to drive better decisions at the end of the day.
In addition to its ability to collect data and conduct detailed analysis, artificial intelligence is now able to learn like a human and even challenge the authority of doctors.
欢迎大家来到首届中国超声医学发展大会的人工智能人机大赛的比赛现场。有请北京2队李建冲教授、文朝阳教授、刘贺教授。
那看到哪个错了？对，这都是。
This is a very challenging competition. 36 senior radiology doctors in teams of 3 are asked to determine as quickly as possible whether the shadows on the breast ultrasound images are malignant tumours. Their rival is this AI-enabled computer. After 3 elimination rounds, the AI defeats all the teams and wins the competition. Computers can now learn like humans, and they can assist or even replace doctors in carrying out diagnoses. This is a new change brought about by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is itself a creation of the human brain, which contains 14 billion neurons. The brain's neurons intertwine to form a complex neural network that allows the brain to extract the characteristics and rules of the things around us. Then, through signals in the neural network, the brain passes and accumulates experience to form memories and complete learning, helping us to know and understand the world. Learning and understanding things by memorizing their characteristics is the human learning mechanism hidden in the brain's complex neural network system. The discovery of this secret led to the emergence of the artificial neural network and artificial intelligence technology.
With the progress in computer science and with progress in mathematical technologies or mathematical models, we have been able to create systems, AI systems, which can now try to imitate how human thinks and how human behaves. Whereas computer, as long as you have the power cord connected, it works and it runs fine. And so there are a lot of benefits where AI technologies can augment the humans and drive much better outcomes on the whole.
Besides the ability of self-learning from mass data, application and surgery, when combined with the technology of simulating sensation and touch, it can even enable patients to regain control of their bodies. Five years ago, 30-year-old Lin Han suffered a spinal cord injury from a fall.
我一辈子都能记得，就从4楼摔下来受伤，从肚脐一直往下，就完全失去痛觉、触觉，反正就是什么感觉都没有了，不能走路了，反正就是一辈子就坐轮椅嘛。
Today, Lin Han is in the lab of the Center for Robotics at the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, or UEST. He's taking a crucial step. He's trying to stand up once again. The nerves in the spinal cord are only a few microns in diameter, and they provide a passage for electrical signals sent by the brain. Currently, doctors are still unable to connect damaged nerves through surgery. So, patients paralyzed by spinal cord injuries cannot be treated or helped through surgery. This exoskeleton robot was developed by a team of scientists led by Professor Chang Hong from UEST. It is expected to help more people like Lin Han regain their ability to walk.
外骨骼机器人呢，它实际上是一个人机混合智能系统。一个方面就是运动的这个协调和协作，第二方面就是智能的交互和融合。
With the help of researchers, Lin Han attaches the devices for collecting and receiving brainwave signals. Lin Han just needs to imagine walking up a flight of stairs, and these devices will collect and analyze weak brainwave signals with different frequencies in his brain. With artificial intelligence technology, the exoskeleton robot can identify Lin Han's movement intentions, control each active joint, and finally, help him climb the stairs.
外骨骼机器人它还没有达到就是我们所谓想象当中的，就是电影里面说的那个真正的钢铁侠那种。 不说它飞吧，最起码它让我再次站起来了，看见了一种希望吧。
In addition to exoskeleton robots, scientists are developing intelligent artificial limbs that can be directly connected to nerve cells in the stump and then be driven by electrical signals from neurons in the brain. These artificial limbs are even able to provide sensory feedback, passing the sensed pressure and temperature data to the patient. Through the help of regenerative medicine, artificial intelligence and minimally invasive surgery, Lin Han may soon own a new pair of legs that connect with the brain and allow him to stand, walk, and even run as easily as before.
So 我觉得科学发展对医学是起很大作用的。现在叫第3次生命科学，就叫融合科学。什么叫融合科学？就是大夫、物理学家跟那 工程学家，那凑一块儿就是能量，所以我们就觉得这是这个方向。
Despite the rapid development of technology, the essence of medicine has never changed. This is a unique blend of aviation innovation and medical technology. It brings together the wisdom of hundreds of global experts. After 6 years of transformation, this small cargo plane has become a flying eye hospital where doctors can perform almost any type of eye surgery.
My name is Dr. Douglas Frederick. I'm a professor at Stanford University in the Department of Ophthalmology. The staff has prepared the patient and has prepared for all the equipment that's necessary, and for every possibility that could happen is planned for on the plane. So I feel as comfortable operating on the plane as I do operating in my own hospital.
Dr. Frederick is operating on a cataract patient. A device that emits ultrasound is used to break up and aspirate the cloudy lens of the patient's eye through an incision of about 1 millimeter. An intraocular lens will then be implanted into the eye. The procedure is carried out in exactly the same way as it would be at any normal hospital, but perhaps with even more efficiency. The whole procedure takes less than 8 minutes, and after some mild discomfort, the patient's sight is restored.
Teddy bear for you. 帮我熊照一下。
In today's world, knowledge from all disciplines is being connected with unprecedented depth and breadth, and monumental change has become the norm. But no matter how much technology changes, surgeons will always be irreplaceable.
I think that the general surgical principles will not change. Careful dissection, ownership and care of patients, understanding the anatomy, the physiology, and the dedication. Those things will be constant throughout surgery. I believe that the technology will change.
我们可以利用现代的科学技术帮助我们，但我们认为，一个医生要永远走到病人床边去，做面对面的工作。我们面对面，这时候我们才会知道，或者非常郑重地说：“我是你的大夫，你是我的病人。”这是负责，这是尊重。所以不能期望有一天都机器代替了人，那是不可能的。
Yada and his wife live in a remote village in southern Nepal. At 7 a.m. they catch a bus to the BP Koirala Memorial Cancer Hospital. Yada is 38 years old, and 6 months ago he was diagnosed with advanced bowel cancer. At the hospital, he's treated by Dr. Liu Hongjiang from China.
अहिले जुन भन्नु कि डाक्टरले भन्नु कि हुन सक्दैन र त्यो अवस्थामा डाक्टरले कोअपरेट गरेर त्यसले भन्नु कि म गर्छु भनेर भन्दाखेरि या त उहाँ चाहिँ सबभन्दा सिनियर हुनुहुन्छ त्यो ग्रुपमा बाहिरबाट पनि आएका डाक्टरले यस्तो मसँग राम्रो व्यवहार गरेर सहयोग गरेर धेरै खुसी लाग्यो मेनी ह्याप्पी डाक्टरले थ्याङ्क यू
The BP Koirala Memorial Cancer Hospital is the largest cancer hospital in Nepal and was built with Chinese assistance. It is also the country's first comprehensive cancer diagnosis and treatment centre. So far, 12 Chinese medical teams have come here to provide high-quality medical services and train local doctors. Nepal has a population of only 30 million people. There are about 5,000 new underprivileged sufferers of cancer like Yada every year. For these patients, the BP Koirala Memorial Cancer Hospital is their main hope. More than 1 billion people around the world are unable to enjoy the fruits of modern medicine, but many doctors are taking action to change this dire situation. Today, 1,095 medical personnel from China alone are providing medical services to local people at 111 medical centres in 56 countries around the world. Doctors have a unique privilege. As long as they've been trained, they can play an important role anywhere in the world.
我们现在还不好说我们任何一个医学手段能够延长病人的寿命，但是呢，我让一个病人有尊严、有质量的生活的，这是每一个医生我们他的初心。
做个医生应该是治病救人，为健康服务，这是最重要的。因为这个虽然有技术，但这个技术也要用于治病救人，做好人。做贡献，对人类的健康做贡献，这才是真正的好医生。
It's 5 in the morning at the first affiliated hospital, Sun Yat-sen University. A baby's cries break the silence in the delivery room, bringing to a family the joy of new life.
来，对着镜头耶一个。
From the moment we're born, a lifetime of struggle against disease and death begins. There have been various attempts to delay death, some effective and others less so. Without doubt, medicine is one of the most effective means.
人类的医药技术，以手术为代表的医药技术，在最近的这200年当中，是有一个质的飞跃，有一个从本质上的改变，啊，那么这些改变表现在很多的方面，啊，那么我觉得呢，正因为这种巨大的改变，你看我们地球上人类的人口不但没有减少，反而增加。
Medicine and surgery, through its association with science, has gained a great deal of effective power, and we would now expect our doctors, our surgeons, to provide definitive, effective cures for all kinds of diseases. So we have very different expectations. But of course, sickness, suffering, death are always part of the human condition.
我们可以延长生命，我们可以治疗一些病，我们甚至可以治愈一些病，但是有一条很重要，对我们对事物的认识。 就像一个深渊黑洞，我们不知道。我们手拿着提灯，我们照亮了一段一段。我们最后可能会认识一个局部，还有很多的东西我们不认识。但我们是求索者，医学也一样。
From the dawn of our species, we've never stopped exploring the mysteries of life. And surgery has developed continuously in the process of our endless exploration of ourselves and the world around us. Surgery has evolved from knocking patients out or making them drunk to the application of precise anesthesia. The unbearably painful practice of cauterization has been replaced by surgical robots that can be precisely operated. Exploratory laparotomies, which were like shooting in the dark, have been replaced by imaging technology that allows doctors to see the tiniest of things. Surgery has been evolving for the last 200 years. The lancet has been able to penetrate deep into the body, creating one miracle after another. The ideal of medicine is to completely conquer disease. We're still far away from achieving this goal, and we may never achieve it. But the power of science and reason and the desire for life are taking us in the right direction. And with continued exploration, we can expect to see an even better future ahead.